The headlines this morning: Anambra State government expresses commitment to restoring effective security network. West African College of Surgeons inspects Awka. Nigerian lawmakers ask INEC to extend CVR exercise by 60 days. And a foreign scene this morning: U.S. forces capture senior leader of Islamic State jihadist group. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good morning to you and welcome to the news. I am Ebere Ugonna. The Commissioner for Homeland Affairs, Mr. Chikodi Anara, has reinstated the state's government's commitment towards restoring effective security network across the state. Mr. Anara, who made the statement when communities from Awka North local government area paid him a courtesy visit in Awka, said his appointment calls for more work and greater dedication to duty. While promising to do his best in accordance with Governor Chukwuma Soludo's vision of making Anambra State a livable smart city, Commissioner Anara further explained that the Ministry of Homeland Affairs is in charge of security and other forms of welfare and protection of people's life and property across the state. Earlier, the leader of the group, Chief Shadrach Anakwe, who described the appointment as well deserved, expressed the hope that the commissioner would deploy his wealth of experience and skills garnered over the years in the service of the state. Chief Anakwe noted that the appointment is for the entire people of Awka North, as it gave them a sense of inclusion. The Anambra State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Ofam Obidike, says the state government will continue to develop the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital, Amakwaka, both in infrastructure and efficient service delivery. Dr. Obidike made this known when officials of West African College of Surgeons visited the hospital. Health correspondent Chibuzo Okoye completes the story.
Speaking during the inspection geared towards accreditation, Dr. Obidike, who said that the visit was a good one as it helps in the training of doctors in various areas of specializations, commended the Chief Medical Director of the hospital for his doggedness in bringing the accreditation team to the hospital. Commissioner Obidike revealed that the Soludo administration is determined to transforming the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital in both infrastructure, human resource development, and efficient service delivery at all times.
If you don't have accreditation, it's obviously you can't be able to prepare postgraduate candidates for their examination. That's postgraduate examination that will qualify them to be a consultant. And this is a very good development, because if you have doctors without training them in area of specialization, is not a good thing, and I thank the CMD for putting this thing together.
The leader of the team, Professor Clement Osime from the University of Benin Teaching Hospital, Edo State, pointed out that they do the accreditation visitation regularly in all teaching hospitals in order to look at their facilities on ground and as well ensure that the facilities are working optimally with regards to training of resident doctors, even as he made it clear that the visit was not to wish hunt anybody under any guise.
The whole idea is to ensure that services are available to train them to become good surgeons. It is not meant to witch hunt any facility. Rather, we are working with them to ensure that the equipment are up to date, the training facilities are fine, so that our doctors who are training can train properly to become good surgeons tomorrow. That's the essence of the accreditation.
Earlier, the Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Joe Akabike, maintained that they have secured 5 accreditations in various fields and that he is optimistic that the hospital will be found worthy to get full accreditation.
This is a tertiary health institution, and that's the highest health institution all over the world. And part of the training that we do, apart from treating patients, is also training of specialist doctors. And these ones they came for specialist doctors in surgery. And remember that if you have that pool of such doctors within you, you find that the work on the consultant becomes less, and we're going to get better services.
In the same vein, members of the Family Health International (FHI) have also visited the Chief Medical Director of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Akabike, where they cross-fertilized ideas on how to improve partnerships for enhanced healthcare delivery, particularly as it concerns HIV/AIDS and other viral diseases. From Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital, Amakoka, this is Chibuzo Koye for ABS News.
Anambra State Women and Social Welfare Commissioner Mrs. Ife Obinabo says the ministry has established a data collection center to register the incidences of abuse of children and women in the state. She made this known during an exclusive interview in her office in Awka to celebrate the Day of the African Child. Chidimma Ikayong has the details.
Speaking on the importance of the day, Mrs. Obinabo explained that one of the reasons the day is being commemorated is to avail parents better opportunities to bond with their children. She therefore called on parents to try their best to give their children adequate attention, noting that it would help in reducing the rate of abuse. On the plan the ministry has to give every Anambra child a livable state, the Women and Social Welfare Board said that the ministry has requested for a designated special court for children where cases of abuse and their likes will receive quick justice delivery, among other laudable projects that would be unveiled soon. Mrs. Obinabo noted that both the request for a designated special court and establishment of data collection center is the first time such is happening in the history of the ministry and state in general.
It is very, very important to protect children, give them that their right, so that when they grow up, they will be sound human beings. It's my ministry, it's our duty. And I don't play with the right of children. We've gone to the extent of having a data collection center, because you cannot say that something is this way when you don't have. It's only when you have the information that you can measure it and know if you are really trying or not trying. And this is the first time we are having such a thing.
In Awka, Chidimma Ikanyong reporting for ABS News.
Anambra State Police Command has rescued 35 underage girls serving as commercial sex slaves and other related crimes at Gali Gali Hotel in Mbo, Idemili North Council area. Briefing newsmen while parading the victims at the Central Police Station Onitsha. The Commissioner of Police, CP Echeng Echeng, called on parents to create a deliberate relationship with their children and said such will direct and guide their activities in life. The CP, who spoke through the police public relations officer, DSP Tochukwu Kenga, observed that intelligence gathering is critical in sanitizing the society. Parading the victims, of which 4 out of 35 were pregnant, some of them who narrated their plight said the search for means of livelihood brought them to the hotel, where they were held hostage, dishing them out a spray to numerous men who remit proceeds to their paymaster with little or nothing given to them. Attributing the exploitation to parental pressure, some of the victims, including 18 years Chidimma Ogwejiofor and Favor Hezekiah, who said they were being drugged to activate them for more turnover in the coordinates crime, lamented that several efforts to escape from the confinement had not yielded results, as security guards had resisted their movement through serious torture. Other suspects arrested were Chidera Alaka and Chidebele Alaka, as well as the 35-year-old young mother who gave her name as Mrs. Ifoma Uzo. The suspect will be subjected to further interrogations with the case under investigation to gather useful information and fish out other involvement. Meanwhile, the rescued victims have been handed over to officials of NAPTIP for rehabilitation. Among the items recovered from the raid includes 3-pump action gun with live cartridges and cash totaling 877,500 naira. A major road leading to Okuzo community in Oyi local government area of Anambra was recently blocked as flood from recent day heavy downpours submerged a section of the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway. The flood, which surged into business premises and destroyed properties estimated to run into millions of naira, most of which belongs to artisans and other business owners along the expressway, also blocked the entrance of the Nigerian Police Force, Anambra State Criminal Investigation Department Annex, formerly Special Anti-Robbery Squad Office, Okuzo. Correspondent Joseph Ibocha, who has been on the beat, reports that officials of RCC Construction Company were sighted at the spot this morning doing some remedial works. His report.
When ABS arrived at the scene yesterday, motorists plying Otuocho Okozo, Oyago Abagna Road and other road users coming in and out of Okozo were seen taking alternative routes as business owners along the expressway were counting losses, while individual efforts were being made to create routes for the flood in order to restore normal traffic flow on the affected section of the expressway. Speaking to the ABS, the Vice President General of Okozo Progressive Union, Chief Onochie Nwotite, whose business premises was among those flooded and goods destroyed, said he had written petition over the failure of the construction company handling the project to make adequate provisions for more flood coming through Okozo and joining the expressway at the spot.
Workshop here there about maybe everything there. My tools the way down there about my furniture, my chair for everything maybe see. Hey, number one Aloysia last year when the RCC in Aloysia. Now you know here. The problem here now, water is from Onitsha Jenugu for 1.8 meters, about 6 feet wide. God, and I'm going to the junction of Kuzueba. Ministry of Kuzu, they are joined, right? Instead of them to expand the gutter more, they went ahead and narrowed the gutter to 3 feet, to 0.9 meters. So now the volume of water, the Alaba of Rosebo said discharge, and no Yabatalo.
Others, including Messrs. Obinna Ikedi, who claimed that his vehicle was destroyed by the flood, and Ndubisi Nsiebunam, who also claimed to have worked with the road construction company, said warnings against possible flood disaster at the spot were ignored by the company. They called for both federal and state governments' interventions over the development, regretting attendant economic losses.
Moto mu atoluzo na eke mu kan chinaka moto ngalungolo no all damage because of construction of RCC. So na if I na ebu a biko I na yon the federal government because who's that federal road and the junction here Okuzu junction for community junction. So I need to Kababia for our rescue because the erosion and damage go a millions of property. I na offer Kababia for our rescue.
Abiyamba, Amesiva. Mkwa baswa ni ba na block ba somewhere na ba block. That's ba block na ba. Ebe bana tilo no ma entrance ba bala forever. Get open a ministry ba na be ka ministry ba na because of na ba for all. But na ba ya alo. No ibe project managers ba ka ba ya alo. So okay, ebe na. But anything happen, na I call cover back. So, and my project manager and now you're the RCC Kababia. That in our governor. No nego Kababia Kaba open a use I. Mepela ya kosi before uza maybe I na gauza and ya dey want this kind accident. But kita na even them na what is too much. Kababia melanya. Body I am mepela do so.
Well, moving on to our national stories, the House of Representatives is asking the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to extend the voters' registration deadline by 60 days and deploy additional staff and registration machines across the country. This follows a motion by Representative Mr. Benjamin Kalu. The House is concerned that there have been reports of a shortage of manpower and machines across the country, which may result in unrest if Nigerians are not captured. The lawmakers, however, rejected an amendment calling for decentralization of the registration process to include social centers and religious centers. Their appeal comes a few days after the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to extend the continuous voter registration CVR exercise. The current CVR exercise is scheduled to end on June 30. The women wing of Tree of Life Gospel Ministry Nanka under Inyaga Foundation has empowered inmates at correctional centers as well as children at various orphanages in the state. Correspondent Amaka Chibuzokwe reports that the empowerment was part of programs to mark the end of the Feast of Pentecost of the Tree of Life Gospel Ministry Nanka, Orumba North Local Government Area. Her report.
The Inyaya Foundation extended their kind gestures to correctional centers in Amobia and Ekulobia, School of Destitute, Umushu, Special School, Isulo, and Community Children's Home, Umoji. Each of the facilities was empowered with 100 loaves of sizable breads, 50 kilograms bags of rice, gari, noodles, diapers, snacks, clothes, among other numerous things. In his speech, the General Overseer of Tree of Life Gospel Ministry, Nanka, Bishop Dr. Jerry Dada Obi, said the empowerment became necessary in order to alleviate the plight of the suffering masses. He pointed out that the church is duty-bound to assist the downtrodden in the society and bemoaned atrocities being perpetrated in the nation, including insurgency, reckless killings, abductions, and pervasive corruption. Dr. Obi, who observed that many are gradually losing interest in worshiping God, called on Christians to keep seeking for God's intervention in affairs of the nation.
Law of God na-eme mmadụ apart from ihe ọjọọ. Ọ ya na-eweta egwu Chineke. So ana m the whole Christians niile ka ha na-akụzikarịrị ndị mmadụ iwu Chineke. Na me na-akụziri ha ihe gbasara n'ọsọ nsọ progress n'ọsọ nsọ mmadụ ị na-enwesa ego ime ya ụzọ eso osidi a na-enwe ego na ọ bụ sọ nsọ ego. Ọ iwu ga-eme ka mmadụ nwee foundation. So ana m the whole Christians niile ka onye ọ na-abanye ekpere maka ihe a na-eme na Nigeria.
On her part, the chairman of Inyaya Foundation, Professor Stella Inyaya, said the empowerment is a yearly activity aimed at assisting the less privileged, especially during the Feast of Pentecost, adding that the empowerment was to encourage the beneficiaries not to lose hope in life.
Onyinye ndị a n'afa Tree of Life Gospel Ministry bụ ka anyị gwa ndị be anyị na Chineke anyị dị mma na onye ọbụla nke na-efe Chukwu na Chukwu adịelozi ya n'ebe ọbụla ọ nọ na Chukwu ma na ọ nọ ebe ahụ na mgbe Chukwu luru na ọ ga-eme ka ha bụrụ ndị nwe onwe ha bụrụ ndị a na-elekwasị anya ga-enyere obodo aka ka ọ dị mma karịa ka ọ dị ugbu a.
While presenting the items, the National Public Relations Officer of the Church, Reverend Chukwuma Arinze, said the gesture was to give the inmates a sense of belonging, calling on various individuals, non-governmental organizations, as well as affluent individuals to do their part, as government cannot do everything alone.
Ka anyị wee na support ha ma na-ekpekwazi ekpere n'isi fa na emechakwa ọnọdụ ahụ ma ndị forever Chukwu ya emebele ndị mmetara ibe ajị nọdụ ebe enwe nchegharị basi na ya pụta basosi elu dozibe obodo na awụrọzi ịkpa aghala unu nwa na-elekọtaba anya anyị kpekwuru ekpere na Chineke ya gba unu ume maka ọrụ adị ọkwa izi ọ ga-adị elu na mma.
Responding, the Deputy Controller of Correctional Center Amobia, Harry Okonkwo, represented by Assistant Superintendent Mr. Henry Okafor, thanked the Foundation and the Church for their magnanimity, praying God to reward them abundantly. Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
Moving on to our foreign desk now, U.S.-led coalition forces says they captured a senior leader of the jihadist group Islamic State IS in an overnight raid in northern Syria. A coalition statement said that the man was an experienced bomb maker and operational facilitator. Officials told U.S. media that he was named Hani Ahmed al-Qudi. A monitoring group said troops were dropped by 2 helicopters in Al-Humaira, close to the Turkish border, in a position held Aleppo province. And on sports news, the Premier League has released the 2022 and 2023 fixtures, with Crystal Palace versus Arsenal being the first encounter for the new season. Though the new EPL will begin on Friday, 5 August at 8 p.m. Nigerian time, the Premier League said kickoffs are 3 p.m. for Saturdays and on public holidays unless stated otherwise. According to Premier League, the fixtures are subject to change. And that's it on the news this morning. But remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Oka. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com for live streaming services for all your events. You can also call us on 070-3249-8150 or 080-3383-2326. And now, just before we go this morning, a quick look at our major stories. Anambra State government has expressed commitment to restoring effective security network. West African College of Surgeons has inspected Chukwemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital at Makwaka. Nigerian lawmakers have asked INEC to extend CVR exercise by 60 days. On the foreign scene, we're brought to you that the U.S. forces have captured senior leader of Islamic State jihadist group. Here is a special message again before we go. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that's the size of our package this morning. Many thanks for joining the bulletin. I am Ebere Ugonna. Good morning. Anambra continues shortly. Please stay with us.